I arrived in Indiana. I have showered, which feels a lot better. Waiting for lunchtime because I'm not into breakfast that much. And parked in the area where I'm trying to get to. And I'm feeling better. Oh, I slept good last night. Oh, hard. Out. A little bit in a better mood. Uh, I think America wise, the best case scenario is an actual divorce. Best case. So, yeah, that's how optimistic I am about the future here. Seriously want to move to a different country, but it's hard getting visas and all that. You have to be able to have some job skills that they're willing to let you in for, and I don't know if I have that. um, kind of country I would like to go to is cold. I am really, really tired of being hot. 20 years in Texas, I am so looking forward to being cold. So, I'm in Indiana, so um, there are a few things I need to get done. I'm going to goof off pretty much and rest for a day or two. But I do need to get the car battery replaced. It's getting hard to start it. I think I'm going to have the air conditioner looked at. Probably need some Freon or something because it takes it a while to make cold air. I've checked my oils, my engine oil, and I think the other one's steering fluid, but it called it. There's no description of stuff, so you have to just look at it enough to know what it is. And so I've got two things in there that take oil, and they're both fine. And before the trip, I made sure the car was in good condition. So had it at a mechanic I trusted, and they said the car is in really good shape. It's a 2008 car. It's in really good shape. Previous people did good. They apparently changed out all the hoses and belts, so it was all and had the engine detailed. So it's looking pretty spiffy in there. The only problem was it didn't when I got it, and it's probably a mechanic that ripped them off. Plus the state inspection thing. It was inspected and all that, and they did say it needed oil, but they also said they put oil in. I got that thing home into a mechanic, and there was no oil in it. It's lucky it didn't melt to itself. Got oil put in, got good coolant put in, and washer fluid. The coolant before had been a little bit of water. So it's got its fluids, new belts and hoses. It looks good. It's clean. But I think it needs a new battery. The battery is kind of. It's not that it won't start. It's just it considers the fact that it doesn't really want to. So it feels like a slug. It doesn't want to. Anyway, I need to get that changed, and the air conditioner looked at, and basically I plan on until I get a place to stay. You know, I'm going to just be driving around in Indiana for the most part, but so I noticed on Google I've passed a few Flying J's. Google, when I was looking for truck stops to go to, didn't mention they were there. So I ended up going to Pilot and what was the other one? Loves. Pilot and Loves. Those showed up. Sometimes I went to an Exxon. Sometimes I went to an Exxon, and it's supposed to be a truck stop level Exxon that I was going to, and oh my goodness, filthy, garbage full, toilets full, very iffy, kind of barely. I don't know how they'd be in that kind of condition and be open for business. But I thought it was weird that Flying J didn't show up. I don't trust Google, and I think it's up to something lately. I think Google and YouTube wise of Google is up to something. I don't know what yet, but I got the feeling they're changing things, and they're trying to be as left-wing, liberal, Democrat, or as I sometimes call them, Democrats, because evil being their goal is the only thing that explains their decisions. Anyway, Google's up to something. I'm very suspicious of Google right now. They're changing things, and stuff not showing up on Google Maps is just, I don't know. That's not normal Google. Google's usually our friendly stalker. It wants to tell you everything, and it wants to know everything about you. And I'm used to Google just being really, really right there on the answer any question. So, and specifically hiding things is, it's up to something. It's hot day here by their definition of hot. Feels like it's in the 80s right now. Maybe high 70s. But when you've spent months every day over 108, that's where my weather app maxes out at 108. It just says 108 every day. When I was in Texas, it was just 108. But, definitely hotter than that. It felt more like it hit 120 quite a bit. So 90 starts to feel better. It's like, oh, it's cooled off to the 90s. My goal, my upcoming goals to achieve are place to stay, place to live, get my license and car stuff registered to Indiana, get the car looked at. There was one more thing. Oh, voter registration. Got paperwork, kind of things to get through the system, and longer goals than that is I would really like to go back to being a truck driver again. Although I've noticed there's a lot of changes. Like there's washers and dryers at truck stops now. That's also clean clothes. Like wow, this is so used to being filthy every day. Ignoring the grime. We'll be able to wash your clothes Oh, that too. I think the population is increasingly going to living in their car. So having places they can go to wash their clothes washed and take a shower is really good for them. I think that's going to really help America to have truck stops helping us through this. Um, so yeah, I tried. There used to be, at least last time I was truck driver, I kind of noticed because I'm an avid YouTube person. Uh, there were a lot of vlogs back then. I think it was called vlog, but YouTubers that were truck drivers, and that got my interest. Some of them were kind of more informing about what things to talk to other truck drivers about what's going on, and that was concerning. Like they had like 3 different trucks just end up just catch fire on the side of the road. People showed up to help, but they were on the side of the road and didn't get in an accident and were completely engulfed in flames. There were 3 of them that year. There were 2 hijackings of semi trucks too that year. It was very. Sometimes I volunteer into stuff. Like I've been a substitute, not because of any particular thing about school. My experience with school is not a good place to be. So I typically in life avoided after getting out of that torture experience to avoid it. But I substituted at some point because I got the. I'm aware of things that are not. Basically I'm psychic kind of thing. I have abilities, and I could feel the kids needed help. There was severe critical level of, oh, help me. So I started substituting in my area, and all I can tell you, people, is as evil as you can possibly imagine school to be, it's worse. And the first school I substituted, area anyway, the first area I substituted at, I ended up showing up for substitute jobs at the high school, and their definition of detention is you get a jumpsuit like you're in prison. You get a number. You're not referred to by name. You're referred to by that number. You sit in a cubicle. You don't have anything to do all day because that's kind of discouraged for the teachers to try and give you stuff to do. But if they do give you stuff to do, you're fortunate, because otherwise it's like solitary confinement. You sit in a little cubicle. You face into. If you don't know, it's more like a library cubicle. Okay, you've got a wall on your left and a wall on your right of this desk. This desk has like walls. So it has a wall in front of you, wall on the side, wall on the other side. You sit at this. Can't. You just sit there all day long. And that it wasn't. It was. It was a hot place, being Texas-wise. So you're in your regular clothes plus a jumpsuit, sitting in school version of solitary confinement, and referred to by a number. That was detention. Yeah. You didn't go to class. You sat there all day. You didn't go to lunchroom. Lunch got delivered. Bologna sandwich kind of thing in a bag. That is abuse. And somehow, some way, we have to get rid of the education system because it is pure evil. It's just it's not just indoctrinating you. It's training you to be a slave. A slave. Do and don't think. Um, I helped as best I could. As far as I know, they still do that there. There have been others who have voiced complaints to the state education board, and nothing's been done about it. They basically got their hands slapped of a slight wording, chewing out kind of thing, very slight, and that's it. I did substitute also in a different area, special ed. My experience with special ed was a psychological torture similar to solitary confinement. Except you were forced to watch scary movies. You sat in a white room, a hot white room, and watched scary movies all day. Rather than be in class and do anything. And you're getting graded on stuff that you're not in class for. So your grades are horrible, which they just use as evidence for you to be in special ed. Anyway, that was my experience in the 80s of special ed. I did substitute in the area, and the special ed experience was a lot better. They weren't, they learned how to read and write, but they were also spending time learning how to cook some food, use a microwave, clean, be safe around the oven, safely use the oven and the stove, and they took naps when they felt like it. That was a better experience. I did manage to do spooky things because, like I said, I perceive it differently and have abilities and all that. And there was 2 kids. Both of them, one was supposed to be deaf, which I agree she probably is, but she spoke. Clear English, spoke to me. She would ask me questions, and I would answer, and we would interact like she could hear just fine. Another one, it wasn't, he couldn't hear. He was mute. He didn't talk. He may or may not act like he even hears you or listens to you or understands you. He was tested wise of he can hear. He's just completely tuning anything and everything out kind of thing, or not processing anyway. And he would answer questions. Words would come out of his mouth, and he would answer questions. And the little deaf girl, we were kind of like interacting with him. They would do things like and they would act. You could tell if you watched them, it's like they were communicating telepathy, because they were busy doing whatever project they were working on. Anyway, it was a good day. I had more than one of those good days. They wanted me to come back. They wanted me to be a teacher there. They wanted me, oh please, you can't go away. These kids are just so much better around you. But it's hard to be there for me. It's hard for me to be in a school. And I was on the verge of tears by the end of the day, every day. So it's just really, and I don't like to cry, but it was just that kind of a mentorship. So that those quirks and issues and psychological scars still lurking below the surface. Um, so I took on truck driving as a hopefully I break even at least, and I'm helping. I was in the mood of kind of the mindset at the time that I'm so downtrodden kind of thing work wise that maybe I should just try to volunteer and at most uh, grandiose goal is to break even. But I got into truck driving, and um, well, it was okay. Now I can't drive manual things. I did manage to pass the test, but I'm an automatic person. I'm not even aware of whatever you're supposed to be paying attention to change gears in a manual. But maybe one day I'll get there. Enough experience, maybe I'll get there. But a lot of trucks are going automatic. It's a lot less maintenance on the transmission, and money is, their main motivating factor company wise. So having trucks that break down less is an improvement. So it's all going automatic. And I tried just fine. It was very stressful. It's a very, 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 very stressful job. And I'm amazed I went into it because I was actually phobic about driving. Um, like not fear wise, but severe stress. Um, I don't really do fear. My feelings are not that isn't descriptive of what I experience. But driving has always been extremely stress. It's like being in an ongoing panic attack. If I'm in the driver's seat, the panic attack starts and it doesn't stop until that vehicle is parked. So I didn't start driving until I was 29. That's how severe of an issue. I tried to learn, and I passed the paper test, and I get the permit. But when it came to actually being in the driver's seat, it was panic attack. So how I managed to conquer that enough to be a truck driver, I don't know, but I did pull it off, and I'm definitely more comfortable. It's not that it isn't a panic attack now. I'm very on the ball, alert, but I'm not panicking. And, it was okay, and the money would have been better if I actually, because the first 2 months I went team, and I got paid almost nothing. Week after week after week. I was out nonstop for 2 months with a teammate, 3 different teammates. One of them only lasted a week. But 3 different teammates and hauling. But I didn't get paid much. The first teammate, everything was fine for like a week or two. And then she started lot lizarding, which means prostitution. So instead of driving the truck when it was her turn to drive and I'm asleep, she would go sell herself to truck drivers rather than drive. So the second one that lasted more than a week, she kept turning the trailer brake. There's a switch. Anyway, they just kept turning the trailer brake on and driving around 60 plus miles an hour with the trailer brake on. They almost caught fire several times. They were smoking. So, plus she the company contended she stole the company car and went on some sort of travel spree for 3 days. Which I was waiting around for. Then the third one, he did weird stuff of a dangerous sort. Like, he pulled the release handle on my tandems on the trailer thing. You move the trailer wheels, and he pulled the release handle for that. He was the only one back there. I know they were. I didn't. I picked up the trailer and was getting it. He had just got out. It was the end. It was a switchover time, so. But the trailer was hooked up. Everything was fine. He handed it over for me to do, and he had pulled the release handle on the tandems. So the trailer wheels, when I started driving off, hit the back, which is. Then I forced him to fix it. I got tough about it, and we didn't switch over log wise, but we didn't go anywhere. But he had to fix the tandems back, and then he went back to bed, and I continued driving. There was something else he did. Yeah, I was picking up a trailer, so I wasn't in the truck at the time. I was doing something with landing gear, I think. I don't remember what I was doing because he totally freaked me out. He got in the driver's seat and started driving away. I wasn't connected yet. I had just gotten the truck lined up wise, and the height wasn't right. That's why I was messing with it. I mean, usually it's the landing gear's down, and you just slide right under there, lock in, put the landing gear up, and drive away. Well, the landing gear was like having issues, and it wasn't locking right. Anyway, and I was dealing with it and getting it so that I could lock this trailer to the semi truck. And while I was out of the truck, and he has his own key, so it's not like he had my key. And the truck was running, but he's supposed to be asleep. And anyway, he hops up into the driver's seat and starts driving away with the truck. Now, he didn't get far. I'm cussing mad at him, and he went like, I don't know, 10 feet. It wasn't 10 feet, sorry. I'm having one of those days. But he tried to drive away. The point is, the trailer wasn't connected yet, and I was trying to get I had gotten the landing gear up, and I was putting it back down, trying to get it to. I don't know. I was figuring out whatever was the problem. Up and down, fix this. If the truck didn't move, everything would have been fine. However, the truck moved. So the trailer ended up resting on the frame of the truck. Because he tried to drive away. Anyway, I was so pissed. I made him couple it. I made him pick up get the trailer locked on to the truck because I was in the middle of doing that, and it would have hit the ground. The trailer would have hit the ground. It got dealt with. He had to crank that landing gear. Oh, did he ever? Oh my goodness. Yeah, get that. It was a loaded trailer. We were picking up, of course. It wasn't an empty. And getting that up. above the height wise enough to be able to be picked up by the skid plate. It was quite the workout. But I did make him fix it, and he didn't do that again. However, that was my breaking point with him. I had to have, I quit basically shortly after that. Now, that was only one factor for me quitting, because, like I mentioned earlier, I was out for 2 months straight, and my dispatch kept saying I didn't have any time off accrued. They wouldn't let me take time off to go home and be with my family, who was disabled and sick and all. And I finally just quit. I quit and went home. And I did eventually go back to it, but I went solo. So I did solo for 2 months, and I do this. It's the same company, which I know that's probably a bad idea. But they did the same thing. I was out for 2 months. I did make money. I will say finally made money. Teaming was horrible, but solo was cha-ching. But they wouldn't let me go home. They would not let me have time off. And I quit again. And since then, my family died. She was all I had left. And it's been hard. Anyway, I feel good. I'm in Indiana, and I'm gonna shut up now. Take a break from talking.